Hello, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. My name is Ray Shin. I'm the chairman for the Nemaha County Republican Party, and I want to thank you for joining us in this discussion with the 2020 Nemaha County Commissioner race. The Nemaha County Republicans are providing this video to the public for your information on all the candidates, both Democrat and Republican candidates. We're making available this video with other videos in the 2020 primary races. We feel that this is a better way to allow the voters to get to know the candidates and then possibly be able to ask questions of each candidate through the social media. We're doing these videos instead of the usual debate amongst the candidates that's typically held when we have several candidates vying for the same office. We have asked the county commissioner candidates to join us in discussing the issues, and we're hoping you will become informed and will be able to get with the candidates for further questions. We're not taking any sides on any of the issues, and we hope this video will allow you to get to know the candidates. Today we have with us Greg Allen, who is running for the 2nd District Commissioner, which encompasses the mid to the southern areas of Nemaha County, the more rural areas. Takes into account 13 townships in Nemaha County. So we've got 5 questions for the candidates, and I guess our first question would be, Greg, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and give us a brief summary of your qualifications for the county commissioner?
Be glad to. First off, thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Greg Allen. I've lived in Nemaha County my entire life, 62 years worth. I am currently living on the same farm where I grew up. It's in Illinois Township, just a couple miles out of Centralia. I married my wife, Marcella, in 1980, and we have 3 wonderful children, Dustin, Russell, and Sabrina, who all live currently in Kansas City area. Dustin and my nephew Ryan Allen have taken over the family farm, which gives me a little bit more free time to come up here and maybe spend a little time running for county commissioner, and hopefully I can do some good for the county. I still raise some dogs on a regular basis, and my wife teaches at the Axtell Public Schools. I have an associate's degree in animal science. I have also been very involved in many activities around the community. I have coached baseball, softball. I have umpired baseball and softball. I have also refereed volleyball. I've been a Boy Scout leader. I've drove an ambulance for 5 years. I've actually helped several business owners around the community, from building houses to delivering furniture and everything in between. So I feel like that I have a very rounded opinion of what people have been asking and what they have told me over the years, what they would like to see happen in Nemaha County. I've spoken to many people, and they've given me great insight on what they think should happen. I've taken a lot of those into heart when I've been thinking about this for the last couple of weeks, and there's a lot of good ideas out there floating around, and I'd like to take those ideas and run with them. I want to make sure that everybody knows that I'm not taking my agenda and pushing it onto the people. I want to make sure everybody knows that I want the people's agenda to come through, and I'm just a voice for the people. No matter what I think or how I believe, I want to be the one that says the majority of the people want this, and that's the way I would go.
Okay. Greg, what are some of the issues that you see that prompted you to run for the county commissioner position?
Well, a couple of the big ones I think is I've went to a lot of the meetings, and I don't think the voices of the people have actually been heard. It just seemed to me like we sat there and a lot of people were talking, and it just didn't make any dent into what the current commissioners were doing, especially on the wind farm project. There was a lot of opposition to it that was spoken publicly, and just from sitting in the audience, it just appeared to me that they weren't paying attention to what the people were saying. I'm also opposed a little bit to the way the meetings have been run. There was a lot of executive sessions where they would take next air into the other room, and the public was sitting out in the lobby, and we waited and we waited. But I don't know of any times where they actually had a meeting with the public without next era being present. I think executive meetings should be used for personnel matters. I don't think when it affects this many people, I don't think an executive session is the way to go. It looks like they're trying to hide something. I didn't like that. And I also don't agree with the huge tax breaks these guys are getting. If they want to put their stuff up in our county, let them pay taxes like everybody else. If somebody builds a new house here, they have to pay taxes. Why should we give this multi-billion-dollar company all these tax breaks when they're already going to make a lot of money the way it is? I just feel like that's a couple of things because I'm right down there where they're working and they tear up the roads and everything else, and we need that tax money that they're not going to be paying. I know they pay a lump sum, but they're not paying near the amount that they would if they paid their taxes.
Okay, one of the issues that the commissioners are working on right now is the comprehensive plan for the county. Can you explain your thoughts for or against that plan?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. I'm not sure I like the term comprehensive plan. I would rather call it a county vision. This kind of allows the inputs from the local citizens as to the directions they want the county to go. Let the people get involved. They live here just like I do. Many of them that I've spoken to over the years have got great ideas, and they've got insight that the three commissioners may not have. They've been around a long time also. We need to be considerate of everybody that lives in Nemaha County. Our smaller communities are dying. We need a solution to prevent that. If we're going to create a hostile environment for people to live in, people's not going to come here to live, and we can't have that. If this county's going to grow, we need to have something that's going to draw these people into our county and keep them, interested in bringing their families here and living. We don't want to make it so they want to live in St. Mary's or Marysville and drive over here to work. We want them to live here, spend their tax dollars here.
One of the issues with that comprehensive plan was the possibility of zoning. What's your thoughts on that issue?
Well, zoning probably would prevent some of the problems they've had right now with this windmill thing. And I haven't really dug into it a long ways to find out if there's legal ways to do that to prevent something like the wind companies from putting up towers without affecting the farmers' rights to build, say, a hog house or a kennel or whatever the case might be. But I would not be opposed to zoning if we can get control over what we're doing more so than what we are now. But at the same time, I don't want to hurt the rural people, because let's be honest, the rural people is what makes this country go.
Yeah. Okay, you've talked a little bit about the wind industry, the projects. What other issues do you think should be addressed, and how to resolve any future development and setback issues?
Well, this is a very good one for me to answer. I tell you right now that I'm living right in the middle of the Soldier Creek Wind Farm. I live on a heavy haul route. I have 9 towers ranging from 3,500 feet to 1.25 miles from my house. I have put up with noise, traffic starting at about 6:23 every morning, going down my road, and lasts till about 5:30, 5:45 every night. Big trucks, cranes, bulldozers. I mean, they drive the bulldozers down the road without even being on a truck. It's crazy around my house. And now, where I built my house 40 years ago to be my forever home, I walk out my door, look out my patio, and all I see is windmill towers all around me, everywhere I go. They haven't started turning yet, so I can't say the noise is causing the problem. All I can do is speculate on that. I do know that the one that's going to be straight west of me is going to cause some shadow flicker at times when the sun goes down because it's directly west of me. I've also got one southwest of me that's probably going to be affected sometimes. I don't like the way it's caused a diversity among our people. I know neighbors that won't talk to neighbors. I know family members that are divided, relatives, friends that have been friends forever have taken a stance and they won't even talk to me. A very smart man told me one time. He said, "You need to look at this. It's a great bit of wisdom, and it's something you guys can carry on with you for a long time." He said, "Just take for instance, you're out in your field at 10 o'clock at night, and you get stuck with your combine. Who are you going to call? Are you going to call next door that live in Texas or Florida to come pull you out? Probably not. Probably what's going to happen, you're going to call your neighbor and have him come over. And if we can't find a way to get around this animosity between people, it's going to cause a problem." I love that scenario. But if we do have to have these things in order to keep our county viable, I don't see anything less than a 1,500-foot setback from a property line, from a non-participating property line. I mean, that's the hard hat range for the workers. They have to have a hard hat on if they're within 1,500 feet of the tower. So why should they be able to put these things 600 feet from a neighbor's property line if they have to have a hard hat on 1,500 feet from the tower? That looks to me like there's about 600-700 feet that's going to be hanging over the property line of the non-participating landowner, and they shouldn't be subjected to that. And I think the bare minimum setback from a resident should be at least 2 miles.
Okay. Alrighty. I guess the last question we have is, what other issues do you see that's very important for you and important to save taxpayer money and help in advancements in the county?
Well, I feel like one of the big things we need around here is some sort of, and I don't know how to get it. I'm just going to say right up front, I don't know how to get it, but we need some sort of affordable housing for workers. We got great companies around here. We got AHRS, Kime, Wingers, John Deere, Case, Cook and Company. We got lots of job opportunities. Our unemployment rate is crazy low compared to a lot of places in the state. But we don't have a lot of places to house these people. If we had some place that we could get these people to come in and make their home in Seneca or Centralia or Corning or Wetmore or Sabetha, if we could get them a way to stay in our community and they could spend their tax dollars, they could buy gas here, they could buy food, they could go out to eat, they could buy groceries here, it would keep this economy pumping like crazy. People live in a rural area so they can have open spaces and sunsets and sunrises, and you can look over the horizon, you can see fields of corn and beans growing. They don't want to have to come out here and look over the horizon and see a mechanical bird flying around in their front yard. I'm just afraid that if we continue down this path of putting up more windmill towers, it's going to cause a big animosity amongst people, and I just hope that doesn't happen, but I'm afraid it's going to cause some problems down the road.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you, Greg.
You bet.
This concludes our commissioner candidate video with Greg Allen, and I want to thank you for joining us. If you have any comments or questions, please comment on this video so that the candidate can answer those questions. And we will have his name and phone number and email address at the bottom of the scroll here, so please feel free to contact them. And join us in the other commissioner candidate videos as we go you can also go to the Nemaha County, Kansas Republican YouTube page or the Nemaha County Republican Facebook page. And we'll also be holding this through Rainbow Live in the Seneca Community Channel. So I want to thank you again.